Welcome to Police K9 Radio. With me, Rich Hartman. I'm Greg Tawney. Rich, what's going on?
We're in Myrtle Beach, man.
Finally, made it to the great Myrtle Beach. It's actually really nice out here. Reminds me of home.
Yeah, you're from this neck of the woods, right? This is normal to you?
I tell you what, for you guys living in humidity, you don't appreciate it. But when you move away, like when that humidity hit me coming off the plane, it's like, I'm home.
It felt good.
It did feel good.
It did not feel good for me.
No.
Hey, we got Joe Lutkowski with us, and for those of you that haven't figured it out, behind us by the big banner, we are at Hold the Line K9 Conference out in Myrtle Beach.
On location.
On location, which is pretty impressive for us because we are not AV guys, and all this stuff is brand new for us, so we're trying to figure it out. But Joe, thanks for having us out here, and why don't you give us a rundown of kind of what got you into this, and we can flirt with what the name used to be, but I know you're technically not allowed to say it, right?
Correct, yeah. I had some legal issues, but yeah, we appreciate you guys coming out. It means a lot to us that you guys come out and support us, so that means a lot. I pretty much started this back in 2018 as a canine handler. I'm still an active canine handler in Pennsylvania, and I started going to some of these conferences, and I got to the point where I was seeing just the same class over and over again, and I'm like, there's got to be a different way. There's got to be more instructors out there because, canine is always evolving, so, we try to keep up with the time. So, I got together and we just started putting something together. I'm like, let's just try it. I tried to do it on a small level, and then it kind of just started growing. And, over the years, it's evolved. I think this is our 6th year because of COVID. We didn't have a year. We missed a year there, but it's been a ride. I mean, it's definitely been challenging, to try to get the location right. We were in Pittsburgh for a couple of years. We went to St. Louis. It kind of didn't work out in St. Louis. I mean, it was a good hotel, but
what's wrong with St. Louis? The fine people of St. Louis.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good conference, but it was right after COVID. So
get controversial. Those St. Louisians.
Yeah, well, we made some comments on St. Louis, but it was like I said, it was good. So now this is the first year in Myrtle Beach, so we decided to change it up and try to get different locations to get more people from different areas that are able to come. So.
How many instructors total do you have at the conference?
Right now we have 38 different instructors from all over. We got guys from Canada, we got guys from the West Coast, we got guys from Florida, so it's kind of all over the place that we have the instructors from.
And for you, is this just kind of like a selfish ordeal, right? Like, I want to learn from that guy, I want to learn from that guy.
Yeah, I mean, we try to pick the best instructors, and like I said, I mean, I'm still kind of involved. I don't really do a lot of social media. I have a girl who does that. Just to get the... I'm fortunate because in the Canada, it's a small knit world that we're in. So who kind of is the good players, good instructors, and always there's guys always recommending guys. Like we got Greg because of Eric Stambro. He's like, hey, listen, we just did an interview with him. You got to get him to your conference. I'm like, all right. So that's what it's kind of about because guys recommend people, and then we vet them. Obviously, we just don't have anybody here, but if Eric says you need to get somebody here, we try to get him. So that's how we got Greg here. So.
And that's always our goal, too, is to try and get as many trainers, people are in the industry that have knowledge that we don't have or somebody that we can learn from. And it's the same thing. Eric and us, we're all good friends. We talk to each other. And today this morning we went to a table class with Jim O'Brien. Yeah. That was phenomenal, and he's local to this area. It was a really good class. We had a good time there. Obviously, Nesbitt and Carlos yesterday, that's always good. You can't go wrong with those guys. There's just a ton of information rolling around here. You can learn more at the bar at 6 o'clock, when everything's over, than you can in some, classes that we've been to because everybody's getting together. There's some debates. There's some sharing of information. I mean, the one thing we always laugh, if you get 10 trainers in a room, there's a good chance that you're going to have 10 different opinions on how to get from A to Z. But it's cool to sit and listen and see how trainers are getting there. And that's what we're here for, is to try and get as much information as we can, share some information. I just sat in Greg's class this morning. That was really good. There were some guys in the class who were like, oh, shit, we never thought about that. So there's just things that, and I think Greg's theory is like, if you can pick one or two things up from any one of these classes and you go to, 7 or 8 classes in the time that you're here and you go home and now you have 10 new things. Yeah. I mean, that's a good goal. There's no way you're going to take away 2 hours of complete information and be like, oh, I'm going to put that in my memory bank. But 1 or 2 things from every class is pretty solid.
Yeah, guys, and you got to get out of your little pond and get out there and start seeing what other people are doing throughout the country and actually throughout the world. if we're including our good friends up in Canada to the north, which we do often. I mean, that's the reality is we get stuck doing our own thing, and that's what I look forward to, being able to come to this conference here and sitting in on other classes and going, oh, shit, that's a good idea, or I like the way he termed that, or he's doing that differently. That makes a lot of sense. And you don't get that by staying in your group and being static. Like, you got to get out there and be open to that, and that's the only way we're going to get better as an industry. To learn from others' mistakes, and there's a lot of mistakes to be learned from. Yeah. I've got a ton of them just myself.
Same. And that's one of the big things. Like, I noticed from doing these conferences, like, people from different parts of the country, world, do different things a little bit differently. So you guys do things on the West Coast a little different than we do here, but to get it all together, it's pretty. Like you said, if you could take one thing away from a class, it's invaluable. So it's pretty good.
No, I'm looking forward to it, and I won't throw any names out there, but we have 2 instructors here now that argued essentially against each other, testified against each other in a certain case, which is, because I know that they both believe that they were right in that situation, and it's going to be interesting to listen to their conversation about a certain case and what their takeaway was on it, and what we can all learn from both of them in that situation, and we'll let everybody else figure out who that was. But for us, it's pretty compelling information to have at the very least.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you got to be open to different opinions out there and different perspectives, and that's how you're going to grow. Yeah, so, and that's like every conference. You guys are going to go to a conference and go, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. That's fine. But then if you can, like Rich said, you pick up one thing each class, I mean, it's well worth it. Yeah. Plus, it's been a great group all in all with the handlers and everything. Very receptive. You guys have done a good job. You're running this thing smoothly. Thank you. Like, it's you can tell when the conference is run properly.
Joe, how many conferences? What number is this on your list of conferences that you've done? This
is number 6. We were supposed to be 7, but with the COVID one, we had to shut it down in Pittsburgh. That we were supposed to have one in Pittsburgh, but we had to cancel it because of that. But this is our 6th one since 2018.
And so you're active as a handler. How the hell do you get the time to make this happen?
Well, I that's a good point. I work night shift, so. There are some things I screwed up, like some with the registrations. I missed one here or there, but I mean, it's going to happen. We have like over 400 guys here, so it's hard. I have a good team, so I kind of delegate. I have a girl who does social media. I don't deal with social media. I'm not, she's like, you got to do this. I'm like, yeah, okay, you could do it. Like you could. You could do it, but and like I said, I have a girl who does the hotel, so it's kind of. I have a good team around me, so it kind of helps.
And you guys have another one obviously planned for next year?
Yeah, we're gonna stay in Myrtle Beach. We kind of like to 2 years at a time, and because the first year is kind of always a learning curve. Because like in Pittsburgh, we kind of had a home base, so we kind of knew the hotel. Everybody kind of knew us, but coming down here was like it was a little scary. You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't know how many people know us down south, so. But it turned out to be really well. I think the location's good here. So, yeah, next year we're here April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We're going to be here again.
And I think the thing that makes it nice, I guess, away from the dog side of things is it's pretty quiet down here right now. It's not right in the middle of an active tourism season. Right. All the restaurants are open, but they're not packed, right? Yeah. You can make it through any of the attractions here. I mean, you're probably not swimming.
Yeah, no, probably not. I mean, some people were. There was a guy, he said he went down to the beach and went in the ocean. I'm like,
okay. Rich does the cold plunge.
He was doing the cold plunge.
Were you out there, Rich? Was that you?
Just hold my breath for 3 minutes. That was not me.
All right. I thought you were dedicated to this thing.
No, when you're picking out instructors, what is your goal? What are you trying to? I mean, it seems like you could get heavy on one end. You could get a lot of the bike guys and forget about the detection guys. Like, what's your plan to make it work out?
That's what I try to do. Like, that's the thing I struggle with the most is the schedule. Because again, like you said, the first couple of years I was always because I mean. I have a dual purpose dog, so I kind of favor the patrol side. So I kind of like the patrol aspect. But, learning, like talking to different guys, like last year we had the one class on Tuesday where it was just a patrol class. And some of the detection guys reached out to us and said, hey, there was nothing for us to do on Tuesday. So so we ask for feedback. So after the conference, we send out questionnaires and we want to know what the handlers want. Because, I mean, if actually we're putting it out for them, so it's not just the Joe show, it's for the handlers. So basically that's why we're for handlers by handlers, because I learn just from that the feedback that we get, like what we need to change things. So I try to, when we're trying to do the schedule, I try to make sure that there's a detection or something for everybody at every block. So like if you're just strictly explosives, we try to put like a detection, odor class. So there's something for everybody to do. So it's not just, heavy on the patrol side,
No, it's good. And we, the struggle that we have is like, oh, what class do we want to go to? Because we're out here and there's some instructors that we never get to hear from or see from on the West Coast. So here we're trying to pick and choose, where we can get some information. Again, like we went to Jim's thing today, and I've never met the guy, never seen him work, and I'm glad we went to that. On the vendor side, the hall is amazing. Like it's a good open spot. There's a lot of room to move around. Organization is great. Like was that different than what you've had in the past also?
Yeah, like in Pittsburgh, it was a little bit smaller. And, coming down here, this is the first year we're in a convention center. So that was a whole learning aspect because, again, I'm a cop. I don't know, like when you're dealing with hotels, it's a different world. And you got this plus thing and there's fees and all that. So it gets kind of like stressful but then, like I said, going in the convention center, I knew it was a little big, but it worked out well because the vendors could drive in, unload their stuff. So, in Pittsburgh, they were putting them on carts, going up elevators. So it was kind of, a struggle for those guys. So we try to look at that when we're trying to plan and pick a venue, what's going to be easily accessible for the vendors and make it their job easier for coming to these events. So
yeah, there's vehicles in there.
Yeah, we got 3 vehicles in there this time, and in Pittsburgh we weren't really allowed. We were allowed, but you had to like drain all the fluids out of your car. It was just it made it impossible. Yeah, it made it impossible. So.
No, it's cool. It's really well organized in
Thank
there.
you.
It was nice to see. I mean, some of our old friends are in there. That's Ray Allen's over there. And actually, Working Dog has a booth set up. Maybe next year we'll get our shit together and we'll have our own booth.
This is our booth right here.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, this works. This works.
Little makeshift.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate on the vendor side because we have a lot of people that have been following us from like the beginning. So we're, our vendors are kind of what make this happen, and the instructors. So without those guys, this wouldn't happen. Because it takes a lot to put this on.
I think the only downside is somebody's going to have to go scrape all the worthless handler stickers off of the hotel. So.
Yeah. That's,
on all the elevators and such.
Yes.
On people's backs, they don't realize it right now. They're walking around with it.
Yeah. He made a nice picture of me. If you guys walk by his booth, you'll see. I'm like, well, at least I'm on his mind, I guess. I don't know. I mean, love the guy. He's awesome. It's all fun, and that's the one thing that we try to. So with the way we organize, it's like a family. If you bring your wife here, your girlfriend, your kids, we welcome that.
Just not both.
Yeah, just not both.
That's happened.
That's happened. Yeah, that could be a problem. That could be a problem for some guys. But we welcome it. It's like that's how I was. When I came up as a cop, I mean, we were always, we stick together. Right. So we're like a family, and I kind of try to run that this way, and hopefully that spills over, and we try to do that.
No, it's good. I've seen a lot of groups of families, kids, everybody moving around. A lot of dogs. A lot of these patrol dogs have been at it for a while. They're just hanging out like they're pets in the room. It is definitely a good vibe, and I think it works well. And you've done a good job setting that up.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the attendance. What are you at this year?
Like over 400. We had 400 registered. We had a bunch of walk-ins, which is really good. So. Just a little over 400, which was nice because we're growing every year. It doesn't seem like a lot, but every year we gain 50, 60 attendees, and that's good. The good thing about this, bringing it down here, is we had a lot of different departments that are the first time at our conference. So we had, I would say, between 60 and 70% new people, new attendees, which as for a company, that's good.
Yeah, growing the brand.
Yeah, and then we had a lot of guys up north couldn't come down because of that eclipse, I guess. They couldn't get off work. So I didn't even know there was an eclipse. When we booked this,
You didn't check in the lunar calendar?
Yeah. So I gave the dates to a couple guys up north. They're like, oh, we can't get off the eclipse. I said, what eclipse? They're like, you don't know? I'm like, how? And so I guess it was a pretty big
thing.
Yeah, it was a
People
thing.
staffed up for the eclipse, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
I thought Y2K was a big thing.
Yeah. The world didn't end, so I guess we're still here. Everything's good.
We made it.
We made it.
And I just want to clear something up just so you don't get screwed next year. You said having walk-ins is a good thing. I don't think organizationally that benefits you any.
We have a girl who does the registration right there. So like I said, you just have to wait another couple minutes before we have to print their name badges. It is nice to have it ahead of time, but walk-ins are always welcome. I mean, it's just they have to wait a couple minutes to get their stuff, printed. So
perfect. Next year, again, the dates are
April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, right here at the convention center
here
in
at
the
Myrtle,
Sheraton.
here at Myrtle Beach again.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes,
well, cool. We appreciate you hosting this. We appreciate you having us here. I know Greg appreciates you having him as an instructor.
100%. It's been an honor. Yeah,
I appreciate
mean,
it, and hopefully we could get you here next year. You guys both here, and hopefully it works for you guys. I appreciate you guys coming in your time.
It's been an honor.
I appreciate it, like your time, and we try to do what we could for our instructors because we appreciate it. I know what it takes. I mean, you're leaving your family, your job, and so we appreciate you coming, taking the time.
Well, I think you share the same mission, and that's really to get information out to handlers so everybody can go home safe at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And in doing that, you're doing a great job here,
Thank
reaching out to all these guys
I
and bringing
appreciate
great people from all over. The instructors are from all over. Like it's a great conference. So if you guys didn't make it this year, please put it on your calendar for next.
I appreciate that, guys.
Worthwhile.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you for your time.
And in the meantime,
Train hard.
be safe.